Let's talk about a bunch of crazy ideas that could boost the amount of money that you can bring in. And I just want to circle back to the cars themselves. So I'm a huge fan of leasing electric cars, especially at this point in time, because the technology is changing so quickly. Even if you're going to buy one for yourself or maybe for this business, I would always go with leasing these EVs because they're changing so quickly. The technology is getting so much better, so much faster. I mean, I fully bought my last car, and I own it now. I don't fully regret it, but it would be nice to be able to upgrade it along the way. But for our business, that all of my sorry story aside, with our business, if we're leasing these cars, it gives us a lot more flexibility for our business. So if the time comes when this car's not working out and we want to return it, or however leasing works, bring the car back, we want to upgrade it to, maybe we have, instead of 5 sedans, we have 3 sedans and 2 SUVs for the trips of families that need to go to the airport. Also, super minimal maintenance costs. EVs don't break down the same way that gas cars do. I mean, there's no engine. You're not going to have to do oil changes and have all these fixes every month. There are some things we need to keep an eye on, but it's the maintenance cost overall long term for the business is going to be way lower with EVs. Thinking even bigger picture, imagine if there was, let's say, a delivery company or some sort of logistics setup where they wanted to kind of test out electric vehicles and see if it was good for their business without just making the huge shift and doing the big capital cost change and installing the chargers and everything. We could, I don't know, lease a bunch of vans and rent them out to this company to test out. Let's say it's a local delivery company. I have a friend who started his own just general delivery business where they do odd jobs. And on the weekend, I'll talk to him. He's like, "Oh, I'm picking up a couch from this area, bringing it to this area." He's paying for gas this whole time. Might be cheaper if he just rented an electric van from us for the week, increase his profits. We could do him the solid of maybe bringing the van to his location, make things easier for him, pick it up after it's done. But there are so many different flexible ways we have in front of us if we have our own location, our own property with DC fast chargers and a fleet of electric cars. The world's our oyster. And just back to types of locations. So for me, I would say I'm more of a fan of being a little bit on the outskirts of town. The property costs would be way lower. And also, buying a location specifically for DC fast chargers is pretty tough to wrap your head around. It's always best if you already have a location that you're using for something else. I spoke to one gentleman and he had a handful of gas stations already. And he thought, why not add in some DC fast chargers? Then we can capture the rest of the market in totality of all the cars. We're not just segmented to the gas cars. Talk about where the puck is going, right? This guy was super creative, very smart, and definitely had the right idea on where it's going for the future of his business. And because he already had the locations, yeah, it's pretty tough to go through the process of dealing with the city to bring the power to the location, figuring out which suppliers you're going to use because you're going to have to figure out the hardware and the software. Sometimes it's easier to bundle those two together. Usually the charging companies will have the option to go both hardware and software together, but figure out what their offer is because you as the entrepreneur, you want to make sure you're retaining as much of those profits as you can. And sometimes the charging company will, with their software, they'll take a piece of the profit or they'll have super high networking fees. Just make sure that you read through the different offers. I actually have a bunch of the different companies' offers in the links below. So check out those on my Gumroad. You can see what each charging company is offering and just get at the lay of the land before you dive in and start picking up the phone and calling each one. So there's my semi-futuristic idea for this business model, but stick around for the next one because we're going to another planet.